Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm going to give you a field report from my FLGS. So my FLGS is also my FLCS. It's my friendly local gaming shop and my friendly local comic shop. And actually it serves more as a does it? Actually, my FLGS does actually probably the most space is dedicated to Warhammer, right? So it does do tabletop role-playing games. It has a really robust area for tabletop role-playing games, but it's got a ton of space dedicated to comic books, also Warhammer. Then TTRPGs would be third. Actually, you know what? TTRPGs would be fourth. It's got a significant amount of space that's dedicated to CCGs, collectible card games. So, but what I want to talk about today is I want to give you a field report for what showed up on the shelf. So this is an FLGS shelf field report. So this is a big deal for me now. I really get excited when I see new tabletop role-playing games showing up on the shelf at the FLGS. I think this is incredibly important. I think we're moving into a space where where mostly digital is there, and it's important. And I like digital. I have a digital libraries, and I understand how important and powerful computers are. But increasingly, especially with things like tabletop role-playing games, the things we care about, the things we love, the things we're passionate about, we want that tangible element, right? And I think in the space we're in right now, we just learned it is not easy to design, write, print, and distribute a tabletop role-playing game. So if you get your book all the way to the FLGS, that is huge. It's a huge accomplishment. So what just showed up on the shelf in the second week of September 2025? And the answer is Obojima. Beautiful book. It was at my FLGS. They had 2 copies. It was right on the shelf, and it just got there this week, right? They only had 2 copies, and both copies were sealed, so you could not look inside. I get that. Totally understand that. A lot of bookstores want it to be fresh, for whoever's going to buy it first. Totally get that. I like it when books are open, but this is brand new. This thing is the new hotness. I totally get it, right? So Obojima drops, and it's stunningly beautiful, has a beautiful cover. So let's talk about what Obojima is. So first of all, it is a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition canon source book. So this is canon to D&D. This isn't like something from OSE or DCC where it's just copying Dungeons & Dragons. This is official, real Dungeons & Dragons, right? Now, how did it get that that honorific, right? Well, it was the path to distribution now is digital first. And so Obojima has been on the D&D partnered content section in D&D Beyond. All of that is 100% pure D&D canon. As canon as the red ampersand, right? And they're saying, hey, this is official D&D. This is more honored, more exalted than anything you would find on DM's Guild, right? Material from DM's Guild really doesn't make it to the shelves anywhere, I don't think. And so this, but D&D partner content, not all of it, actually, is all of it? Yeah, I think all D&D partnered content does appear as printed material at some point, and I don't know if that's like the rule that they've made, or simply like that if you make it that far, you can absolutely your product will bear the weight of physical distribution and sales, right? That's a heavy load nowadays, right? There's not a lot of games that can do it, right? And there are a ton of games that are digital only, which is really interesting. So that's where we land, and I think it's really fascinating that Obojima was there. So what was really interesting what is Obojima? Obojima is a D&D 5th edition setting, okay, official canon, And it is specifically Studio Ghibli with the serial numbers filed off. It is the vibe of Studio Ghibli, not just anime, but cozy anime, right? And all of the art in it is reminiscent of Studio Ghibli, specifically Ponyo, right? Like, it doesn't have that sharp inking style of like Princess Mononoke. It has that kind of rounded, soft tone that you found in The Boy and the Heron, and also very specifically in Ponyo. Really bright palettes, just stunningly beautiful art. And Obojima, and this is fascinating. Like, this is a vibe book, right? So, they did not do the work to go and get official Studio Ghibli content, but this totally delivers the vibe of Studio Ghibli, Miyazaki, material, which is really fascinating. Beautiful book. It's about a solid 300 pages long. It's 350 pages long. It's really interesting. On the front cover, it says 5th edition, and on the back cover, it says DND. Nowhere does it say Dungeons and Dragons, and nowhere does it carry the red ampersand. And I think well, no, that's not quite true. I was about to say that the partnered content never gets the red ampersand, but that's not true. Exandria is in partnered content, and both the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount and the Call of the Netherdeep both carry literally the red ampersand. They are pure 100% D&D canon. And Obojima is pure 100% D&D canon. This isn't just some like one-off, somebody copying the style. This is sold under the D&D banner. Not the ampersand, under the banner, right? And it's really fascinating to me, just the journey that these products go through to reach the shelf. And so congratulations to Obojima. It's a really big deal to get your book on the shelf. It looks like it is absolutely gorgeously printed. It was $49.99, and I'm impressed with that because, with tariffs and all, this could have easily been $60 or $70. There was no markup from my FLGS. Very thankful to them for that. I did not pick it up, only because I'm running other things right now. But it is that, it might be on my Christmas list. I was extremely impressed to see this here. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing and have a fetch millennium.